Now then, what's up, everyone? Thank you so much for joining. It looks like I've got one of those superimposed backgrounds, doesn't it? It's not. I've just shut all my blinds because it's warm, right? It's really warm, and it's kind of hard sometimes to know what to do in terms of yoga when it's this hot, right? Because 2:30 in the afternoon, I sometimes say, don't I, you can feel quite tired at this sort of time in the afternoon. I always have this kind of quite natural dip. So I'm always kind of like, what do I need? Do I need to rest? Do I need to energize? And when we're doing our yoga practice, right, we're always like at the forefront of our mind is that we're trying to be kind to ourselves and we're trying to look after ourselves as much as we can. So we don't want to work too hard, I think, today. I don't think we want to be kind of like flying around and getting really sweaty. If you do want that, then I apologize because we're not going to do a huge amount of that. What we'll probably do today is we'll start with some breath work. And then what we'll do is we will then do some standing postures just to kind of, get that lethargy out of the body. And then we'll kind of slow it right down and let's see what we do. It's about 40 minutes, this class. So what we'll try and do is like slow some of the poses down as we move through the class and then hold the poses for longer, because when the body's warm, right, we can get sometimes that deeper stretch. So if you come to yoga for, that stretch, then, there is that kind of positivity in having, warmth in the body. It's beneficial. So let's see how we get on. It is really nice to be back, by the way. I hope Natalia looked after you. I've not seen her because she's flown off to Portugal for a week. So I'm sure she looked after you beautifully because she's a brilliant teacher and she's a lovely person. So thank you to Natalia for teaching for me. I'm away again for a couple of weeks in September, so I'm sure she'll come back. Carolina, who sometimes covered as well. She's got a very young baby now, so she can't do stuff in the day as much, but she might come back at some point as well. So I'm sat here cross-legged. Shall I show you? Look, just like that. I'll come forward a little bit. Make sure you're hydrated, everyone. Make sure you've got enough fluid with you. I'm on my chai again. And what we'll do is we'll just kind of settle here for a little time. And what I'd like us to do is just pay a little bit of attention, right? That's what we do in our yoga practice. But let's just sit and, maybe formally or informally scan your body. Now you can close your eyes here. I really don't mind what you do. Draw your attention inwards. And, just that really simple instruction of notice what you brought onto your mat. The first thing I'm drawn to is heat, right? Today is heat. I'm warm. I'm just on the edge. I've got a little fan back there, so I'm going to go back there in a moment. But, I can feel some heat in my body. But, I feel relatively comfortable. My body feels okay. But that idea of letting go of whatever you're holding on to here. And it might be that you do what I do, you might just close your eyes and notice what happens when you kind of take the external stimulus out of your practice. Noticing the length in your spine and the shoulders relaxing and loads of room to breathe into here. So this is the simplicity of our practice. It doesn't mean it's easy. It just means we're not looking for, a huge amount of movement or expectation. So maybe you go just for a minute on a little journey with your breath. And what I do is I'll remain quiet just for that minute. And then if you had your eyes closed, then just gently blink your eyes open. That was quite nice, wasn't it? I enjoyed that. Maybe lean back into your hands and just bring your feet out and just drop your knees a little side to side. And notice that movement, a little external rotation of the hips. So you'll probably feel that in your outer hips, and leaning back with the spine nice and long. Just these simple windscreen wipe movements. And then we'll come back to seated, but maybe come back with your other shin in front. So I'm going to come with my right shin in front, and then readjust yourself, and a little bit of movement and then a little bit of breath. So when you're ready, take an inhale, just sweep your arms all the way up towards the sky. Maybe some of you guys are practicing outside today. And then a little movement side to side. Again, don't think about this too much, just little movements. You know, you might kind of stay down on one side, you might kind of just move with your breath or kind of sway from side to side. And then maybe clasp the hands and just push your palms up and have a really good stretch out. You imagine you're waking up for the first time today, rooting your sit bones down into your mat or the floor, wherever you are. And then again, just this little side to side movement. Come back to center. And then as you exhale, your nice familiar pose, push the palms forward and round into your spine. This is seated cat cow. Inhale to lengthen, feel all of that length. Feel the shoulder blades. Exhale as you round, tuck the navel back towards your spine. One more like that. Inhale all the way up. Maybe pin the shoulders back a little bit. Nice amount of length through the back of your neck. And then exhale, push the palms forward. And then this time, inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And then exhale into a simple twist. Left hand on the right knee, right hand behind you. Twist into the right. Inhale to find length. And then exhale into your twist. Nice. As soon as I face this side, it feels a little cooler in the room here. Take a couple more rounds of breaths. A nice deep inhale. And a full exhale. And then one more like that. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. Beautiful. Inhale. Bring the arms all the way back to center. Again, little side to side movement. Have the shoulders, quite wide. You can kind of bend into the elbows a little. And then as you exhale to the left, left hand behind, right hand on the left knee. Here's your inhale. And here's your exhale. Into your twist. Little movement between those two parts of the pose. Inhale to find length. Exhale a little further into your twist. And then one more like that. Nice deep, rich inhale. And a full releasing exhale. Come all the way back to center. Lean back into the hands again. Release your legs and just do that movement again. Drop your knees to either side. And then we'll come with your other shin in front. We'll do a couple more things and then we'll get into this Sitali breath, which is a nice cooling breath, which we always do when it's super hot. And I kind of think about it, how many times did we practice together when it's super, super hot? Not very often, right? I don't know, 4 or 5 times a year if we're lucky. But it's June, so you never know. We might have a nice warm summer. Okay. Hands onto the knees, Sufi grind. Inhale the chest forward, exhale round your spine. Get into this beautiful movement. It feels good, right? I did it this morning. My body felt a little tighter this morning. Now I'm all loose like jelly. So this feels quite good. Inhale forward, exhale as you come back. Draw a circle. Don't feel like you got to do it exactly like me. You might be sitting a little taller and you're just drawing those circles from your navel. Or maybe you bend into the elbows a little more like I do and get into your spine. But notice how it feels. Don't push too far. Just because you're warm doesn't mean that, your body is going to like every deep movement. So be gentle. Always gentle. And then when you're ready, inhale, come back to center. Take a full exhale. Spine is long. And then just pop back the other way. So you just rotate in the opposite direction. So I guess, I was going to say, we see all these movements usually as warming up, even though it's hot, we still need to warm the body up. We still need to kind of prepare the body. I know I said at the start that we'd do some standing postures. And then I'm like, we're 10 minutes in and we still haven't stood up. All right. Inhale, come back to center. Take a full exhale. Why don't we stand up now? Otherwise, it'll be too late. So come to stand up. And then we'll come back to sit down. So come to stand. And I'm going to move back onto my mat. You can see me all right there. What does it feel like if I do that? Better? Do I need the light on at all? Nah, don't need it on, do I? Okay, it's not winter, Dave. So from here, what we're going to do is we're just going to swing the body open. Okay, so just kind of move side to side, just kind of moving the body. Nice. And then maybe just draw the arms a little higher. And you might inhale here. I'm going to move forward a little bit so I don't want to hit the wall behind me. Inhale to the left, exhale to the right. So this one's a little more vigorous, right? And then slow it down, maybe just kind of bring the arms a little lower, you know, where we started, and then really slow movement side to side. And then eventually inhale, come all the way back to center. Bring the feet till they're about hip width apart. Take a nice deep inhale. And take a full exhale. One more time like that. Deep inhale. And then a full exhale. What I'd like you to do is just come to the top of your mat. So bring yourself forward to the top of your mat. Have your feet about hips width apart. And make sure you've got enough room here, right? So you might kind of just bring your arms out. You're at the top of your mat. And then again, from here, inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, stretch up high. And then exhale, hinge and forward fold, come all the way down. Now you see I've bent my knees, right? Just because it's a natural thing for me to do. And then probably just sway a little side to side. Standing forward fold, don't push it too far. Kind of rock the weight into the toes and maybe just sway a little side to side. Beautiful, nice. And then come back to center if you're moving like I am. And then when you're ready, inhale, just draw yourself up to a flat back. Now you see, look, I can still keep a little bend in my knees, and then I come up nice and high. But if I look down towards my feet, then my spine is relatively long, right? And I'm just rolling my shoulder blades back. As you exhale, hinge and fold and come back into that flat back. And then do that 2 more times. So inhale up to a flat back. Exhale to hinge and fold. And then one more time, inhale to a flat back. And exhale to hinge and fold. Root down for your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Come to stand. And then exhale, frame your hands to your heart. All right, let's just do one round of a half sun salutation, or 2 rounds of half sun salutation, so it makes it a full round. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And then exhale, hinge and fold and come all the way in. So we're back into this forward fold. Again, back to the flat back on an inhale. Draw the hands up the legs. They might be a bit lower than mine, that's cool. And then exhale, hinge and fold. Root down for your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, hands to your heart. And then do that one more time. Inhale to sweep the arms up, maybe a hint of the back bend. Exhale to hinge and fold, come all the way in. There's your big swallow dive down. Inhale up to a flat back. Exhale to hinge and fold, and then root down for your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, hands to your heart center. Beautiful. Make a little bit of room for yourself and just step back. So you've got a little bit of room at the top of your mat. So you're kind of like, I don't know, halfway down or a third of a way down. Line your feet up with the long edges of your mat. And then a little bit of paint the aura. So just be gentle here. Don't want you to kind of go crazy. Bend the knees. Inhale up. Exhale down. That's it. Inhale up. Exhale down. So you inhale to expand. Exhale to fold in. Three more. Inhale up. And then exhale, comb the arms all the way down. Keep breathing. Bring the arms down, just so they're down by your hips. Let everything settle. Find yourself in Tadasana. This is mountain pose again. Maybe close your eyes and just check in with your experience. Notice what you're noticing. Maybe the heart beating away, maybe that natural heat within your body. And then from here, what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of tree pose today. So remember in tree, I'm going to face you guys, but you can still be in that place where you're just a third of down your mat or halfway down your mat. And then bring your hands onto your hips. We're going to balance on the left foot first of all. Okay, so we're going to stand on the left foot. Now remember, you've got three choices. You can be here, toes on the floor, just the tips of maybe the big toe. So this is tree, hands at the heart. That's a balance, right? Little bit of support through that right foot, sorry. You can be here, so you place the right foot on the left calf, and this is tree pose. You kind of create this little seal and you open this right knee out, just an external rotation. Or you can come a little higher, and what I do with this one is I'll bring my foot a little higher and I'm in tree here. So you pick a version and you can do what you want. You can move around, you can kind of sway a little. Whatever feels good. You might just keep your hands at your heart, right? So your choice. Remember, you can hold onto a wall with your finger. So I'll leave it up to you with the balances. But remember, balance is super important. Keep breathing. Stay nice and relaxed through the shoulders. Whoop. You see, I'm nearly out. And then when you're ready, you'll come out. So you might do it this way. You might stay standing on the left leg. Lift the right knee independently. Give the leg a little stretch out. And then bring the right foot down and then just sway your body a little side to side again. Let it all go. Nice sigh out through the mouth, probably. So this is the little standing sequence we're going to do. There's not a lot left of it, to tell you the truth. I did promise it. All right, root down for your right foot. Remember what I didn't say on the first one, find a focus point, your dristi. This is what we say in yoga, we just find something. Some people kind of look in their eye line. I tend to look down just because it works better for me. So root down through the right foot. And then your choice where you go. You can be here, you can be here, or you can be a little higher. So you kind of press the foot into the thigh and the thigh into the foot. This is just an option. It's a version. It's one which I like to go to. But I also like the other two versions as well. Stay here if you want. Breathe deeply. Notice how the sole of that right foot is positioned, right? So what I generally do is my toes start to grip. So I try and really open the foot out. I feel the four corners of my feet. I sometimes play around with my balance a little bit in my arms just to kind of, bring a little bit of fun into it and to let the body learn little other parts of a balancing sequence. Stay nice and relaxed. Take one more round of breath. And then as you exhale, maybe bring the hands back onto the hips and maybe lift the left leg and give it a little stretch and bring it down and go nice and wide with the feet and just sway a little side to side. Feels good, right? When you've done your balances for the day. Hopefully some of you guys are keeping your balances up. Remember all that stuff about when we put our shoes on and the socks in the morning. I've just been out to France in 2 weeks. I spent a lot of time in my camper van and in campsites. So every morning I've been doing this kind of thing and making sure that I'm keeping my balance, because you lose it really quickly. Okay, shall we come back down to sit? We're kind of halfway through the class, so it seems like a good time to do that. So come to sit down, and then we'll do this Satali breath. So we'll do a little bit of pranayama. I like pranayama, I like breath work. Always feels good. This is a good opportunity to take a little drink as well. I'm just seeing who's joined. Alan's here. Nice to have you along, Alan. Hope you're doing all right, mate. Victor, 23 degrees in the high peak. Love the high peak. Who else is here? Oh, Jackie's here. Nice to have you back, Jackie and Irene. Jackie and Irene are always here, right? Pauline's here as well. Oh, it's really nice to have you guys along. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this breath work. Let me just have one more bit of chai. So Sitali breath. This is where we breathe through the tongue. Remember, if you can't roll your tongue, because genetically some people can't, you breathe through your pursed lips like this, or through your teeth. So your choice how you do it. If you can stick your tongue out like I can and roll it, then you can do it like me. So you choose what works for you. So you breathe in through your lips, your tongue, or your teeth, and then you breathe out through your nose. I suffer from hay fever, so I feel all right actually today. I've not been out that much, so it's okay. All right, so sit nice and tall. This is a cooling breath. It's going to calm you down. The moisture that you create is really going to help you cool. Okay, so sitting nice and tall. Don't worry what this one looks like. It looks a bit ridiculous, but it's a beautiful breath. Okay, so inhale in. And then exhale in through your nose, letting all the breath go. And you just do that rhythm, inhale in. And exhale in. Carry on like that. I don't need to talk you through it. And wherever you are, maybe just do 2 more rounds. There's certainly no rush. Beautiful. And then just let your breath come back to a nice steady rhythm. Maybe breathing in and out through your nose now. And then what I'd encourage you to do is a little bit of movement for your neck. I think it's really rewarding. So what I do is I just drop my chin down and then I'll rock a little side to side. And then if you wanted to, you can do some complete circles. Maybe come back the other way for a few rotations. And then maybe just move your head side to side very gently. So inhale your head back to center. Exhale, bring your head over towards the left. So you just look beyond or down the left shoulder, I guess. Inhale your head over to the right. Oh, sorry, that's an exhale. Inhale to the left. Exhale to the right. Don't worry about it. If your breath's the other way around, don't have to get too fussy with it. As long as you breathe in, you're in a good spot. Beautiful. And then inhale, bring your head all the way back to center and take a full exhale. Beautiful. Really nice work, everyone. Okay, let's do one more little bit of breath work and then what we'll do, all right, Gillian, what we'll do is we will then do some longer holds. So we'll do one more thing seated, and then we'll be back. Well, I'll be back on my mat. You've probably said that all the time. So why don't we do something quite vigorous, and then we'll let all of that resonance in the body calm right down in some of these longer holds. It's not going to be many, like 2 or 3. So why don't we do this one? We did it a few weeks ago. I like it. I grin when I do it because I think it's good fun. It's a bit of coordination. It keeps the brain kind of active. So we do this one. Okay. So we make fists. We inhale, right? That's an inhale. We exhale. All right. Inhale and we exhale. So that's one round, and you might be like, what is that all about? So what we're thinking about the heart center, we're thinking about energy within the body, and we're just preparing the body for some nice long holds. So should we do it one more round together, and then I'll be quiet and we can get on with it. All right. So this is an inhale. This is an exhale. Cross the arms. Doesn't matter which one's on top. Inhale, and then exhale. The hands are behind. If you get stuck, remember, these are always inhale. So you stop, you inhale. You exhale, you inhale, you exhale. All right. I go quite quickly, but not super quick. And if your brain's kind of on fire a little bit, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good, right? Try not to think about it too much and grin. And this is just about moving the body. It doesn't have to be a certain way. We're not trying to do anything perfectly because there's no such thing as doing this perfectly. Okay, let's go. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Nice and energizing this one, right? Nice intentional breath as you go. And then inhale the arms back. Take a full exhale. Bring the hands down onto your knees, palms face up, and then just come back to a beautiful, steady rhythm. And again, notice what's going on for you without too much judgment. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. So something like that, when you feel kind of lethargic and you feel, kind of like, I don't know what to do to kind of wake myself up, or to, when the energy within your body sometimes feels really kind of stagnant and you feel a bit, we all feel like that, don't we, from time to time, every day. So something like that, even though it looks a bit odd and sounds a bit odd, and if someone walked into the room and you were doing it and they didn't know what yoga was about, they'd be like, my partner's gone a bit, what's going on? These things feel really good, right? So don't be shy to kind of experiment the way that we move your body and the way that you move your breath. Okay, let's come into child's pose. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set you up in child's pose, and then I'm going to read a little bit from one of my books. But to come into child's pose, let's come on to all fours. If you're kind of joining me, this fan on my legs is beautiful. And then inhale, drop your belly down, lift your head, lift your heart, exhale, round your spine. So just a few rounds of cat-cow before we come into child's pose, just to kind of free the spine up. I think it's a beautiful way to move. And then inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, split your knees wide and just draw yourself down into child's pose. This is where I end up, and I'm going to join you here for a minute, I reckon, and then I'm going to do a little reading. But feel free to support the body out in any way. You might place your head on your hands or the head directly on the floor. You might wriggle around a little bit, and then just settle into your child's pose and maybe take your deepest breaths in the class so far. Make sure your knees feel okay. They're supported in some way if you need to support them out. And from here, just stay where you are, just for another couple of minutes. This is kind of a more of a yin yoga pose. I'm going to move, as I say, just to do this little reading. Find your deepest breaths so far of the class. Maybe you feel that your breath has slowed right down. Inhaling, exhaling. And I just wanted to read a little bit about letting go. So for me, this is really informs my yoga practice. It kind of takes all the pressure away from my yoga practice needing to be anything. So letting go of wanting to be better, letting go of wanting to be somewhere else, letting go of planning tomorrow, letting go of that inner dialogue, letting go of tension around the area of sensation, letting go of the strain in shoulders, letting go of what we think we're supposed to do, letting go of impressing and improving, letting go of frowns and forcing, letting go of ambition and aggression, letting go of contrasting and comparing, letting go of holding, letting go of trying to control, letting go of closed minds. And in this letting go, there can be a loosening of the rigid views that are the enemy of intimacy. A real letting go is learned through realization of the cost of holding on and being resistant to flow. Much letting go can enable us to be here as we actually are in this experience of authenticity. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to get, no one to be, nothing to have. And in this letting go, there can be a deep experience of release, an unwinding, a declenching, an unpacking, a releasing, and an undoing. All right, take maybe, 2 or 3 more rounds of breath here. Feel free to exhale through your mouth. That can feel really beautiful. And then from here, maybe just bring yourself back onto all fours. So peel yourself off your mat from your child's pose. Nice long hold there. And maybe move for a little bit of cat-cow. And then eventually what we'll do is we will arrive on our backs and we'll do the ultimate letting go, which is Shavasana. That was from this book, Brightening Our Inner Skies by Norman Blair, Yin and Yoga. It's a really beautiful book. I read from it a lot. All right. Come to lie down, let go completely. We've got, 3 or 4 minutes here. What I'm going to do when I arrive on my mat, it took me a bit of time to get there, didn't it? I'm just going to squeeze my knees in, letting go of any tension in my spine. And you can bring your feet down, maybe quite wide, and maybe just drop your knees to either side in that kind of windscreen wiper action, which we've been doing. We did it a few times seated earlier in the class. And then I encourage you to find, a pose that will, let it all go. Maybe the feet are long like mine and the feet fall open, take up a load of room, kind of let the body totally relax. A few minutes, I'll be quiet from here. And then from here, just very gently and slowly, just begin to bring those tiniest movements back to your body. Maybe start with your fingers and your toes, and maybe the movements get a little bigger, a little more expansive. You can stretch the arms. Maybe you bend the knees in towards your belly. Maybe you squeeze the knees in towards your forehead. Kind of move in a way that feels good for you. Just roll over to one side very gently. Support your head out with your bottom hand and take a couple of balancing breaths. And then eventually press into your top hand and bring yourself all the way back up to a seated position where we started the class. Let me just move forward to finish all this off. Beautiful work today, everyone. Well done for coming along on a very hot afternoon. Bring your hands to your heart center. Nice. Press your thumbs into your sternum. Sit nice and tall. And then nice and simply, just with a wholehearted bow, wish yourself well, wish everybody else well. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much for coming along today. It was really nice to be back and to practice with you all. I'll be back here again next Thursday. There'll be a chair yoga class at some point next week, usually earlier in the week, or it is earlier in the week. So yeah, I look forward to it. If you want to join the chair yoga, go for it. All right, it's a really nice class to do as well, just slightly different. So yeah, enjoy yourselves. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you all soon. Thank you so much to the Virtual Village Hall team for hosting me today, and always take care, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye now.